Alright, this video reviews 3 common errors from your probability quest. So this question says, at Mom's Diner everyone drinks coffee. Let C equal the event that a randomly selected customer puts cream in their coffee, and let S represent the event that a randomly selected customer puts sugar in their coffee. After years of collecting data, Mom has estimated the following probabilities. So the probability someone puts cream is about 80%. The probability that someone puts sugar is about 70%. And the first thing you're asked is to calculate the probability of C and S, that someone puts cream and sugar, and then to also interpret in context of the problem. I'd say probably the thing we struggled with the most was this last part, interpreting the value in context, so putting it back into a full sentence. So in this video, we'll go over how to do that. So because I'm calculating the probability of two things happening, C and S, I know that's a sign I'm going to be using multiplication. So I'm going to be multiplying the probability of C times the probability of S. So that word and is going to translate in probability into multiplication. So when I plug those values in, I'm going to do 0.80 multiplied by 0.70. You can plug that into your calculator, and you're going to get 0.56. So there are a few ways to interpret this in context. The key is that you have to say that this represents the probability of cream and sugar. So I'm just going to say, doesn't even have to be a full sentence, I'm just going to 56% probability of a customer taking cream and sugar. Alright, and so the key fact to remember there is that in probability, the probability rule for multiplication, you didn't actually have to remember this because you could have had it in your foldable. So I'm just going to say, when you see the word and in probability, it's a signifier to multiply, which is what we did to solve the problem. Okay, next one, the probability of C given S, and then to also interpret the value in context. So given in probability tells us we're going to be using the conditional probability formula. So I'm going to start off with this key fact, because I know I'm going to need it, which tells us the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A and B divided by the probability. Key thing to note, it's out of frame, whatever is given, whatever comes after the word given, is going to go into the denominator of that conditional probability. So you definitely need this to solve the problem, whether that's memorized or in your foldable. So the probability of C given S, in this case, is going to be equal to the probability of C and S divided by the probability of S. So I'm just going to plug in the values, the probability of C and S. I just calculated that in the problem above. It's 0.56. And then the probability of S was given to me in the problem, 0.70. So I just have to find that information and plug it into the formula. To interpret in context, I would say it's the probability, I'm just going to write it over here, probability of taking cream in your coffee given that you take sugar as well. So I'd just be looking for that word given. Probability of taking cream given that you take sugar in your coffee as well. Alright, C is just a flip of that same problem, so the key probability formula. In this case, the letters are flipped, so probability of S given C, which is the probability of S and C, over the probability of, now the C comes after the given, so it's going to be divided by the probability of C. Again, the numerator is going to be the same, it's still just the same, the probability of cream and sugar, 0.56, but now the denominator is the probability of cream. So I'm going to pull this 0.80. And then for the interpretation in context, it's going to be just flipped around. So probability of taking sugar given that you take cream. Okay, so as you're watching this video, I'm passing around your graded quests. What I'd like you to do is flip over to the next page, find some errors in your quest, ask me, ask your partner. If you have questions, put the correct work here, and then whatever key fact to remember here. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and take the reflection survey, just reflecting on your experience with this quest. All right, thank you.